Hello world, this is SPP, better known as the Slytherin Potions Princess, and we need to talk about positivity, but probably in a slightly different way than most people do. So, obvious disclaimer, positivity is cool, and it's great, and it's wonderful, and obviously, we can't go around being negative Nancy's all the time, and we can't necessarily let our negative thoughts drag us down and make us think that we're nothing, and we're worthless, and we're pathetic, etc., etc., etc. Obviously, positivity plays an amazing role in people's lives, and we should all strive to be as positive as we can be. But therein lies the imperative word, strive. So, positivity isn't something that comes easily to a lot of people, especially people with mental illness such as depression and anxiety as well. Positivity isn't always necessarily something that that people can just decide. Not everyone can just decide to be happy. And for people who can decide to be happy, wonderful, great, fantastic, more power to you. But the thing is that there are some people who honestly can't. There are some people who physically cannot will themselves to be happy. And I think that a lot of those people are getting left behind in the whole positivity movement. A YouTuber that I really, really like posted a Twitter status, something along the lines of, "You're blessed, act like it." Which is, perfectly fine. There are a lot of people who take what they have for granted. There are some people who purposely break their iPhones because their parents bought them in the color that they didn't want. There are people who necessarily just, nothing is good enough. Oh, they have the fastest MacBook, there's something coming out newer. They have the best iPhone, oh, there's another one coming out 3 months later. There are people who don't necessarily count their blessings. There are people who aren't satisfied with anything. Yes, those people should learn to appreciate what they have, but at the same time, everyone's entitled to a bad day. Everyone's entitled to a bad week or a bad month. And especially for people with mental illness, so especially for people like me who can't always find the will to be happy and energetic and wonderful and awesome and, do all the things that we normally do, it honestly feels like we demonize them. It honestly feels like people moralize happiness. That if you're not happy, oh, you're a negative Nancy, you're such a drag. To the point where, I personally start feeling guilty about having bad days. I start to feel guilty for reaching out for help. I start to feel guilty that I have a really needy week or I have a really needy month where it's just I kind of need reassurance. I kind of need to be reminded that I matter to people. And I think that's perfectly fine. I think that not all of us can be happy all the time. And honestly, I would be worried for someone if they were happy all the time. Don't get me wrong, if you can fake it till you make it and you're just constantly happy and you're a state of euphoria and you get everything done and, you've never had a bad thought cross your mind, that's wonderful, that's fantastic, more power to you. But I don't think that's everyone. And everyone has their ways of coping with bad days. Some people find it through spreading joy. Some people find it through, rewatching a show that they really care about. Some people find strength in a lot of things, but sometimes we just need to muddle through a day or through a week. And I think that we need to accept that as okay. I think that, yes, positivity is wonderful and great and awesome, but if someone isn't feeling it for a period of time, regardless if they have depression or not, so I feel like we're allowed to muddle. I feel like we're allowed to have weeks or maybe even months where we just kind of hate everything. And I think that that's okay, because I think that we've placed so much emphasis in you need to be happy with what you have. Someone else has it worse. It's okay if you can't. It's okay if you've got a couple of days where you're just not feeling it. It's okay to have a couple of days where you feel like answering fuck off to every single question someone asks you. Because you're human, and negative emotions are part of what makes us human. And I think that that's perfectly okay. It doesn't necessarily feel like anyone's allowed to have a bad day. Because the thing is that we want to be happy so much that we forget that it's not always easy and it doesn't always come naturally. And I think that a lot of us could be way more understanding when our friends are going through a rough time. And especially if it comes from quote-unquote nothing. Most people are understanding through the death of a loved one. Most people are understanding because of this. But sadness doesn't always have a reason. Having a bad day, having a bad week, having a bad month doesn't always have a reason. And it feels like we need to justify being sad, when in all honesty, there is no real justification for being sad other than you're sad. And it's perfectly fine to feel like that. It is perfectly fine to muddle once in a while. You just gotta pick yourself back up. And I know that you feel like a drag, and I know that people feel like they're not necessarily their full selves, but let me tell you, if people love you and people care about you, they will understand if you have a bad week. They will understand if you have a bad month. They will understand if you have a bad couple of months. I think that all of us need to learn how to be way more accepting of just bad periods of our life, even and almost especially if there's nothing wrong. I feel like we need to legitimize sadness the same way we don't question happiness. I mean, if you're having a really good day, no one's like, oh, what happened? Why are you in such a good mood? So then why do we do it with sadness? And I think on the whole, we just need to be a whole lot more sympathetic to everyone else. So those are my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Please leave a like if you think that what I have to say is important or it matters. And hey, maybe check out my other videos and even consider subscribing, please. Yeah? So, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and even if you're not, it's okay. You're gonna be okay. I promise. So until next time, to be honest, we're the realsies. Stay safe, y'all.